So welcome back, guys. Today we have a fresh information for you concerning a video that has been going very viral online, and this video has been going on for a while right now. I think this particular type of incident that has been been broadcasted online has happened back around 2023, and to solve this particular problem, Captain Ibrahim Traore actually put this particular mission in charge of the Rapid Intervention Brigade 15th Battalion, and they were able to carry out a successful extraction mission for some of the Burkinabe armed forces that were behind enemy line, eliminating all the terrorist threats that was right in front of them. They were able to carry out this operation without, some of the victims that were behind enemy lines, did not sustain any type of injury, or they didn't lose anybody at the end of the day. So recently in Kanshari camp, these troops, I don't know what happened. We've been seeing so many videos online where troops post their location, they post their pictures, some many to do TikTok videos, and a lot of very, very bad things have been happening recently. Troops just giving up their location, and it's not like you're going on the offensive. What you are doing is to contain that environment, to instill stability and concord. But we see a lot of times these troops just they just post themselves on social media, and these terrorists don't sleep. The terrorists are equally on social media. Even me, I'm speaking to you, I've told you about my encounters with some of those people in my comment section, sending me different messages. So these guys are for real. They are not joking. Like, I don't know why they are fighting, but I feel like the mission for them is so dire. And some of these troops, I don't know, the professionalism is, is just a little bit off the cuff. So, some of those troops were captured, and, a lot of things were taken from their camp. So, this same Rapid Intervention Brigade has now been deployed again to go all out to get these guys. Oh man, to be honest, I don't know how to feel about the guys that were captured, but the rescue forces, they have now been deployed again to go and rescue them behind enemy lines. I don't know if they have the precise intel on the location or where the terrorists are, but they have now started, they've now kickstart this special military operation to recover some of these troops. So now, so far so good, we have a report that 4 terrorists have been neutralized, and a very big name that is being mentioned is Mohammed Lukman. He happens to be an informant and a kidnapper in that particular region, but he has now been neutralized, and a lot of information was being retrieved from him before he tried to flee the scene, and they did what they had to do. Now they've advanced. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know what the outcome will be, but we wish for the best, and you hope for but at the end of the day, much respect to this Rapid Intervention Brigade that has actually gone all out again to rescue some of these guys that are behind enemy lines. We hope the mission is successful. So secondly, we have information about Mali. We are getting information that around Menaka region there is serious exchange of gunfire between the JNIM that actually attacked the convoy today. You must have been seeing the picture on Twitter and the video. They actually attacked the moving African Corps convoy, the IED once again. That's why I've been telling a lot of people that I think it's high time, the Malians find different other means to, to deploy when it comes to patrol, when it comes to surveillance. I believe you can actually patrol with FPV drone. Life has now become easier, and I believe that there are other things that they can, do to kind of eliminate this IED threat, because the last time they actually went on patrol, the first time they went on that patrol, I think the first day, There was an IED explosion. The troops backed off. There was no casualty. The second day, they made a countermeasure by using a mine there's this particular vehicle they use that actually would, even if the mine explodes, it doesn't affect the vehicle. They used it. So what the terrorists did was to use a remote control explosive device, and before we knew what was going on, the car got destroyed again. So I just think like one of the most effective measure to take now would be the Malians to find a back door to, how they can deploy their patrol squad, and, to make sure that they are able to reduce the incidence of the high ED devices that are always, being planted by these terrorists. And the image that was dropped was actually, this video was recorded by a JNIM terrorist, that actually recorded this video. And the video quality was good. And so for the JNIM to actually record the video of when the explosion took place, it means that it was actually a planned ambush. But ladies and gentlemen, so far so good. There was no casualty. The troops have, returned, and that particular vehicle has been blown off, so that, some of the technology and some of the parts, maybe who knows what the terrorists might actually do to some of these vehicles. So it has been blown apart with drones and all of that. So I believe the Malians can upgrade on that and they can do better. So another information we have, this one takes us to Nigeria. The leader of a community has been arrested in Katsina State, who has been involved in conniving with bandits to, store their weapon and to give them precise intel. Troop movements on kidnapping. He has now been caught and is under interrogation. Right now. And I can't imagine, we can't say we want to fight something and we have a lot of internal unsuspecting, like people you don't really look at, like, okay, you can do this type of thing. They are right there, they are giving intels. You just don't know the next person to you, what their mission is at the end of the day. And these are the things that slows down the advances, and they slow down the success of the soldiers of good, in my own opinion. They're the ones that slow everything down, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that will see the troops moving and will give their location to some of these terrorists. Again, another, there was an attack in Kwara State in a place called Babanla. Unfortunately, this Babanla that they talked about is in the middle of Kwara State. I mean, the capital of Kwara State. That is very sad. According to the information we have, 1 p.m., right? 1 p.m. in the afternoon. They said 1 p.m. in the afternoon. 1 p.m. 200 motorcycles entered the capital of Ilorin. Like, I don't understand. The capital of Kwara State. I served in Kwara State. So, I served in Ilorin East. Being a medical personnel, I served in Ilorin East because that's where you have the UITH. So if, and this Babala is very close to that location, right? We know we have a lot of undeveloped bushes around those places, like undeveloped lands there. But for 200 bikes that had a lot of, terrorists mounting them to enter this location, and according to they destroyed the ACP, they shot him with 4 bullets, then they marched on to the market square. These civilian casualties were recorded and all of that. The situation is desperate. But ladies and gentlemen, the local vigilantes, the armed forces, they've now launched a counter-offensive, and one of it has been successful so far. They've actually caught a Fulani that allegedly works for a notorious bandit leader called Kachala. And Kachala is a younger brother to Ado Aleru. So, ladies and gentlemen, these names I just mentioned, they are notorious terrorists in Nigeria. And, you know, what we do here most of the time is that negotiations here, negotiations there. I don't know his business, but at the end of the day, you know, he has been caught. I don't know what his fate will be. You can hear him speaking, and what they are telling him is that they won't kill him if he can, you know, disclose the location and how to capture his remaining members.
Mai gida sunan ka waye? Sale. Sale waye? Yusuf. Daga ina? Daga Baballa. Daga Baballa. Me sana'anka? Ana tsakani da Allah ni dan kungiya ne, kana ji? Kungiyar me? Yaron Haro ne. Tsakani da Allah bai san na taho wannan abu. Kuma daga na dawo wajenci, na je gidan yari. Daga na je ya dawo ya hana ni sata, ya ce kai kara, daga ran nan ban kara ba sai wannan ba. Sai wannan waye da bindigan nan? Na Haro ne. Waye Haro? Kacalla Haro. Kacalla Haro. Eh wallahi mai gera, amma wallahi bai sani ba. Bai san shine da ba sai na dauko ka na taho. To suwa suka kidnapping din baban nan?
So that is what he's talking about. He's telling them to give him water, that he's very, very thirsty and all of that. Guys, you think he deserves a glass of water? Nevertheless, you know, if you look at all the criminal activities going on in Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Zimbabwe, is it Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and man, it's just one tribe. We already know what that tribe is. I'm not going to mention. For those of you that know the tribe that we are talking about, you can, you know, help us leave the name of the tribe you think in the comment section below. But this guy that has just been caught is a Fulani. But you understand what we're talking about. So now the bad thing is, for those of you that think that the Burkinabe fighting forces, the Malians, that they are not fighting enough. When I tell you that these terrorists come in overwhelming numbers, when I say, look, let's give a lot of credit to our fighting forces. First of all, I want you to clap for the soldiers. Seriously. Look at how these guys are moving in Mozambique. Ladies and gentlemen, before I speak about this, I want you to watch this video.
إلى رجالات الدولة الإسلامية وفوارسها الأبية في كل ولاياتها في ربوع الأرض عربا وعجما شرقا وغربا ونخص منهم فرسان ولاية موزمبيق.
Those are terrorists moving and destroying a lot of locations in Mozambique. Look at the fire. Look at the rate at which those guys are releasing. And look at how these guys are changing. Look at how they are changing position. Look at the graphics of the video recording. Look at the different cutting and, you know, editing that they did to that video. You will know that this is an elite fighting force. One thing you will know if you are a military personnel is that when you shoot and you move, is a different ball game entirely. How do you want to target? And these guys, look at the type of weapons they are using there. There is even this weapon. I don't know if it's a mortar. That guy put, he held it like this, placed it on the ground, boom. Like, look at these guys. Who is, and what they are saying now, they said they are fighting against communism. That they are fighting against the colonialism. You know the bad aspect? They equally mentioned the name of Nigeria. So for those of you that think this fight is, oh, the troops did not try and all of that, man, you are making a very big mistake. This is one of the most serious fighting I have seen in my life. This is, I don't know if I can say this is greater than the fighting that is going on in any front line all over the planet. Because look back at that video and look at this type of guys. Imagine what happened in the Kwara State that I just talked about. 200 of these guys running into a particular location. Number one, they come with overwhelming numbers. Secondly, look at how those guys are changing position. Ladies and gentlemen, much love and respect to our fighting force. Homeland or death will always prevail. As long as you're patriotic, and you will never take a knee in the face of adversity. Our first responsibility is to be patriotic. Our second responsibility is to love ourselves. There is always a saying on the streets that it is the first neighbor that will deliver the second neighbor. So ladies and gentlemen, stay dangerous because your life definitely depends on it. It's your boy 72 Android signing out and I'll say before I go. I love you all, man. Much respect.